Hello and welcome to our show, Big Boss, Big Idea. I am Vivek Mittal, and today we are joined by Mr. Nikhil Sohoni, Group CFO, Blue Star. Nikhil sir, बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है आपका हमारे खास शो में सर.
Thank you, Vivek, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Our pleasure, sir. Sir, with almost single-digit growth time since last 5 years, FY18 से FY20 तक अगर हम देखते हैं तो ब्लू स्टार की एक जर्नी सिंगल डिजिट ग्रोथ पर रही थी और इनफैक्ट ओवरऑल पूरी इंडस्ट्री ही उस ग्रोथ में चल रही थी, जिसको कि एक बहुत ज्यादा इंडिया का एक बूमिंग पीरियड नहीं कह सकते. लेकिन हाँ, FY22 से हम इस तरह की बातें सुन रहे हैं कि इंडिया विश्व गुरु बनने जा रहा है और बहुत अच्छे से हमारी इकोनॉमी ग्रो करने वाली है. सर, मैं आपकी गाइडेंस भी देख रहे थे हम लोग की जो आपने आउटलुक दिया है कि कंपनी एक्सपेक्ट्स टू हैव 21% CAGR from FY22 till 25 और 34% CAGR in PAT. सर, क्या ये स्टार एरा शुरू हो चुका है ब्लू स्टार का?
Let me take just a step back and first reflect on India. So, as you said, yes, India is right now in the phase of, I will say, a growth phase, which no other country right now is looking at globally. As you are aware, 7% odd growth at India level is one of the highest in the world today, and probably no other country comes close to that. In fact, today we are in a situation where most of the global developed markets, be it UK, Europe, Canada, are seeing a recession, and even US growth is expected to slow down as we go forward. A lot of this is depending, of course, on the central bank rhetoric. So how the central bank kind of, at which stage do they pivot? Because if at all while they are expected to continue with the rate hike for some time, I think F20 or rather 2023 will be a kind of a tale of stories, and we may see in the second half most of the rate increases stopping, though we will not see rate reductions happening, and all of this will weigh on the global economy. I think why India stands out in that is also, it's not a 1-year story or it's not a 2-year story. As you said, probably we have to go back to 2017 and earlier, and the entire reform process which has started, right, with the GST, with the digitization push, with the JAM Trinity and all of that, I think is yielding returns now. So we can see the lot of money that has come into the formal economy is also reflecting on the growth of India. So that's the key part why India is growing and India is standing out in the global economy. Coming specifically to Blue Star, I will just say that I would not give any specific guidance in terms of percentage return, but I will say that the story is good because of, again, the lot of actions that have been happening at the company level. So if you see, the company is comprising of commercial refrigeration. The company comprises of room AC, which are there, and also as far as the projects which are concerned. So all the three, the project business is benefiting from the spends which are going up, be it shops, be it factories, be it infrastructure. All of that is on the higher level of the spend at the India level, and we are benefiting from that as we do a lot of projects on the MEP side, which includes project firefighting, air conditioning, the plumbing, all of that, and a lot of investments are happening right now in that sector. At the same time, if you see in the commercial refrigeration, I think at the moment what India is kind of having is only maybe 1% of what they require. There is a huge potential out there in this industry, in the commercial refrigeration, and as the consumers taste changes and more processed foods gets consumed, which was not with the past generations, I think the demand for commercial refrigeration is going to go up. Same way with the increase in retail space, which is there, the entire dairy industry, the ice cream, all of that, the pharma, the healthcare, all of that will require commercial refrigeration more and more. And that is what gives us confidence that this sector or this industry is also going to grow as we go forward. Coming finally to room AC, we are all aware that the penetration is as low as 7%. And we are just banking that with the PLI schemes which have been put in place, with the kind of growth that is possible. The summer is same, whether it's in the city or in the interior. So it's just that the the product has to be made more affordable. और जैसे ही ये product affordable हो जाता है, the penetration from 7% can go up to 8 to 10%, which will again give us confidence that the growth in this segment will continue unabated as we go forward. So that's why I think we are positive about not only India, but also about the sector which we are in particular.
Exactly. So can we say that Indian white good industry is enjoying the same time as we had seen in China during 1998-2000, where urbanization was high, per capita to GDP were high, and a low, and there was AC ownership, which was at the lowest level. So now, can we say that that kind of era is emerging in India too?
To a certain extent, yes, but lot will depend, Vivek, going forward on how we actually make use of this right now. See, we cannot be complacent to say that, you know, this penetration will happen. There's penetration will have to be the, I will say that the corporates will have to spend in the right direction. We will have to work towards making the product affordable. See, if today it's no longer a luxury, but at the same time, it is not something which is within the means of many of the interior towns. And that's the key penetration which we have to capture. And if we have to do that, I think there has to be a right spend on R&D. There has to be right use of the PLI, which is done.
Okay. And sir, one more thing, like Indian consumer, especially from metro cities, are spending a good amount of money on water and air purifier. And you are already selling these kind of products, are having a very good market share in that category. So how do you see the opportunity in both these spaces?
Quite frankly, in the water category, if you see, you know, the market has been very stagnant. The market has been stagnant, and we have been we have around 3% market share over there. We have been steady, so we are present in the segment, but and we want to grow, but the whole industry over there is very, very limited, and therefore the growth potential may be limited. So that's not going to be a key thirst area as far as water purifier goes, but or even the air purifier. The expectation was that this industry will grow, but it's a very, very, you know, niche industry, very small industry, and therefore more than that, I think the commercial refrigeration, the air conditioning, room air conditioning, those are the segments which will see much wider growth as we go forward.
Okay. And the company has market share of, say, around 13%. So can we expect further upside because the competition very stiff?
Vivek, as a company, we are targeting that, say, 2015 tak, 15% market share, 2025 tak, 15% market share is what we are targeting. Okay. And we are well on the course to that. So that will come through multiple new product launches, which we will do. That will come through increase in penetration, which we are targeting. And of course, the increasing in capacities, which we are building. All of that will help us reach there.
Okay. सर, हमने मार्जिन्स भी देखे कि जो वाइट गुड इंडस्ट्री थी उसके मार्जिन्स थोड़े से श्रिंक हो रहे थे पिछले कुछ सालों में, लेकिन अब जो ये फर्स्ट हाफ देखने को मिला, स्पेशली ब्लू स्टार का भी, उसमें आपके 6% से ऊपर के ग्रॉस मार्जिन्स आते हुए दिखाई दिए। सर, क्या ये हम मान सकते हैं कि मार्जिन का बॉटम लग चुका है, अब यहाँ से हम आगे बहुत अच्छा समय देखने वाले हैं इन फ्रंट ऑफ इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ मार्जिन?
Vivek, as far as margins go, see, it's a factor of a lot of global conditions also. As we say that, you know, we are importing certain components, and we are exposed to the commodity movements. So if you see last year, the commodity prices had peaked, and because of which we saw the almost a bottom in as far as the margins are concerned. In the current year, to a large extent, commodity prices have eased, but rupee has depreciated. So that entire benefit again could not be taken advantage of. At the same time, the more and more value engineering that we do. So where will the margins come from? The margins will come from three fronts. One, the value engineering. If we are working on the value engineering and trying to make the product affordable at the same kind of margin levels, that's the key which is going to, because that will give us scale. The moment you get economies of scale, that's the another push which will get in the margin. There will be an operating leverage coming into play over there. The third is going to be, as you are aware, we have kind of commissioned the Sri City plant will happen in January. And once the Sri City plant gets commissioned and it starts supplying, we are going to have a huge logistic advantage. Since as of now, the only plant that we have is in North, which supplies to entire India. The Sri City plant, which is of course in Blue Star Climatech, which will be manufacturing for us, will help us get a logistic advantage as far as the material and finished goods go. So all of these things coming together, yes, will help us reach the target, at least the ratio margin of 8 to 8.5%, which we are targeting for this year. And maybe going forward, we can aim to be at least in the higher single digits on a consistent basis. Global factors, assuming that they don't play a spoil sport, I think there is a good chance to achieve that.
बिल्कुल सर, ग्लोबली लोग भी चाहते हैं कि अब बहुत हो चुका है, अब लोग भी थक चुके हैं ग्लोबल डिसरप्शंस को देखते हुए। कभी कोविड आता है, कभी रूस यूक्रेन के वॉर हो जाते हैं, और बहुत सारी चीजें हो रही हैं सर ग्लोबली। एग्जैक्टली सर, ग्लोबली एक चीज और हो रही है, वो था चाइना से और ताइवान से जो ये चिप का शॉर्टेज क्रिएट हुआ। सर, इसका व्हाइट गुड इंडस्ट्री पर कितना इम्पैक्ट देखने को मिला, और स्पेशली अगर मैं ब्लू स्टार के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बात करूं तो?
ऑफ कोर्स, जहां तक माइक्रो सेमी चिप्स का प्रॉब्लम है, आई थिंक दैट इज अ यूनिवर्सल प्रॉब्लम, और ब्लू स्टार कुड नॉट बी इंसुलेटेड फ्रॉम दैट, ऑफ कोर्स। सो द वे वी आर ट्राइंग टू टैकल दैट इज, आज के दिन में अगर हम लोग 40-45 दिन इन्वेंट्री में काम कर सकते थे, हम लोग 75 दिन इन्वेंट्री रख रहे हैं, because there is no choice for that. See, this entire thing is coming from the fact that we don't want to lose the market which is there available today. If the market is lost for want of commodities or want of components, I think that is criminal. So one will have to plan for the inventories in advance, which means that to that extent you have to stock more. That increases your cost, but ultimately it's the market which is important that you have to address, because you don't like to lose the market share, you not like to lose those volumes. So the only way to face the situation today, and what we did in last few months or last say more than half a year that we are working right now, is stocking more to take care of the supply chain disruptions which are there.
Okay. सो सर, इसी वजह से आपकी कुछ जो नेट बोरिंग्स थी वो थोड़ा सा इस बार बढ़ गई थी, बिकॉज मैं देख रहा था कि 392 करोड़ की देखने को मिली इस पर्टिकुलर क्वार्टर में। तो क्या हम मान सकते हैं कि ये धीरे धीरे जैसे सप्लाई चिप की प्रॉब्लम, ये चिप की जो सप्लाई है इसकी प्रॉब्लम सॉर्ट आउट होगी, तो कंपनी डेट फ्री स्टेटस की तरफ लौटती हुई दिखाई देगी?
एज अ पॉलिसी, again, Blue Star aims to be a low debt company, but not a debt free company. I don't think because being a debt free is right in terms of cost of capital. So it is always good to have a right mix of debt, but we don't go overboard when we take debt. So we try to maintain it within 0.4 to 0.5. That's the maximum that we try to reach, and not beyond that. The current buildup in the debt is again a factor which we need to keep in mind, is because of a lot of capital spend that the company has been doing. So the company has invested and commissioned the Vara 2 plant last year. The company has invested in the Sri City, which has kind of in a state-of-art plant which we have built in the current year. So the lot of capital spend has happened, which also resulted in the money getting diverted for that. So that said, the inventory buildup, which is again more than what we required, will of course require us to borrow to a certain extent. But as soon as we hit the season, which is Q4, we expect these inventory levels to come down and the debt to par and come to a lower level. But there will be a certain level of debt increase which will happen by the end of this quarter, because this is a lean quarter. As you know, for the air conditioning industry, this is not one of the main quarters which is there, which means that the cash flows will be constrained to that extent, and therefore the debt will build up by December end. But subsequently, it should help us, as the sales start happening in Q4, the debt level should come down.
सर, व्हाइट गुड इंडस्ट्री में सबसे ज्यादा इमर्जिंग प्रोडक्ट कौन सा लगता है इंडिया में, कि आपको लगता है कि ये पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट है जो कि इंडिया में बहुत ज्यादा इमर्ज होने वाला है?
Not because I am in that industry, but I think air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
And why I feel that is because, as I said, the summer that you and I experience is the same summer which even the interior people experience. So the heat is same, the discomfort is same. And for efficiency, every person wants that comfort. The only problem is, even in the cities, earlier you did not see a lot of people going out and buying air conditioners, but today in every household you may see 2 air conditioners. It has become a necessity. It is no longer a luxury. Same thing will happen in the interiors. Second, if you see the air conditioning industry, lot of sales started happening around 2002-3, and lot of the products will now come up for replacement. As the replacement market comes up, that again is going to give push to the industry. So around 1.5 million of good replacement products may come up, which will require servicing by this industry, which will also add to the demand. So I think the air conditioning industry is well placed to kind of take advantage of this. And with the PLI push that the government has given, I see at least this industry really on the cusp of growth.
बिल्कुल सर, जैसे कार में बोला जाता है कि ओईएम्स के लिए कि उनका जो रिप्लेसमेंट मार्केट होता है दैट कंट्रीब्यूट समवेयर अराउंड 60 to 70%, क्योंकि एक बार जो गाड़ी चलाना शुरू कर देता है फिर वो दूसरी ट्रांसपोर्ट से मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट यूज नहीं कर पाता। इसी तरह से जब एक बार एसी में समय बिताने लगते हो तो फिर एसी को रिप्लेस ही करना पड़ता है। सर, तो रिप्लेसमेंट मार्केट कितना बड़ा है इनका, इस पूरे इंडस्ट्री का?
जैसे मैंने थोड़ा टाइम पहले बोला कि इट इज जस्ट ग्रोइंग। लास्ट 20 इयर्स में ही ये एसी सेल्स इंडिया में ज्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं, तो अभी ये प्रोडक्ट अभी रिप्लेसमेंट मार्केट में आने का चालू हो गया है। मेरे हिसाब से अराउंड 1.5 मिलियन डिमांड तो डेफिनेटली रहेगी इसकी एज वी गो फॉरवर्ड।
ओके, कमिंग बैक टू द कंपनी सर, सर आपकी ऑर्डर बुक का साइज क्या है, उसका कुछ सेग्रीगेट हमें बता सके कि जो आपके पर्टिकुलर 3 बिजनेसेस हैं उन तीनों में कितनी ऑर्डर बुक है और कितना आप टारगेट कर रहे हैं इस फिस्कल के एंड तक?
तो जो ऑर्डर बुक जो रहती है वो ज्यादा करके सेगमेंट 1 की रहती है, दैट इज फॉर एबीपी प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड कमर्शियल एयर कंडीशनिंग। बाकी 2 में ऑर्डर बुक्स उतनी रहती नहीं है, वो तो रूम एयर कंडीशनिंग इज मोर अ B2C बिजनेस, तो ये B2B बिजनेस में ऑर्डर बुक रहती है। तो अराउंड करंट ऑर्डर बुक साइज इज अराउंड 4,000 crore plus. If you see a lot of it, I can say can be equally divided between say government infra, that is what you see about roads, metros, railway, water, जहाँ पे एयर कंडीशनिंग की जरूरत होती है या जहाँ पे प्लम्बिंग वर्क है, जहाँ पे फायर फाइटिंग लग रही है, सो उसमें ज्यादा करके 1/3 प्रोजेक्ट बुक रहेगी। 1/3 you can say is towards factories, commercial residentials, commercial this real estate which is there, so all of that requires orders to be booked. And of course we will also be having for the data centers, so जहाँ पे काफी डिमांड बढ़ रहा है तो डेटा सेंटर के लिए भी ऑर्डर बुक अच्छी खासी है। सो ऑल ऑफ दिस इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू दैट 4,000 crore ऑर्डर बुक।
ओके, एंड सर कैन यू टेल अस समथिंग ऑन योर आरएसी एक्सपोर्ट कि कितना हो रहा है और कितना आगे टारगेट कर रहे हैं?
एक्सपोर्ट्स व्हेन यू से वेदर इट इज आरएसी और कमर्शियल रेफ्रिजरेशन, उसमें स्प्लिट नहीं करते हम लोग। सो ये दोनों का मिला के अगर बोलूं तो हम लोग दुबई में हम लोग की सब्सिडरी काफी सालों से है और वहां से हम लोग कस्टमर सर्विस कर रहे हैं। तो अराउंड दैट इज वन एरिया विच वी एक्सपेक्ट टू कंटिन्यू टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट, बट द ग्रोथ दैट वी सी इन द एक्सपोर्ट इज फार बियॉन्ड दैट। So we do anticipate that there will be a good demand from say US, Europe as we go forward. And the China plus one, there will be inquiries, there will be potential to service these markets, and we are really hopeful about it. Probably 6 months down the line, I will be in a better position to tell you the strategy that we want to come out with. But there are definite steps which we have taken. We have already formed a subsidiary in US. We have formed a subsidiary in Europe, and I think there is a good potential over there to be tapped.
Exactly. And sir, do you see any kind of recession fear in Europe and America? Because a lot of talks are happening कि यूरोप में एक रिसेशन आ चुका है, अमेरिका में आने वाला है। अगर हम स्टॉक मार्केट के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखें तो ऐसा कोई रिसेशन लगता नहीं है, क्योंकि अभी तक किसी इंडिसेस ने ऐसा कोई गिरावट नहीं दिखाई है, लेकिन यस इट्स ऑन पेपर टिल नाउ। सर क्या लगता है, क्या रिसेशन है ये?
तो पहले मैं स्टॉक मार्केट से बात करता हूँ। इफ यू लुक एट स्टॉक मार्केट, सी इफ यू सी MSCI इंडिया इंडेक्स, ओके, पिछले एक साल में around 9% higher than global stock index which is there. If you see 2 years, it is almost, I think, 16% better than global index. So India is definitely outperforming. But if you see the global, I think the headwinds are surely there. One, because of the inflation, which is not within their control today. You know, initially the central banks sat back and said that this inflation is temporary and transient. Subsequently, they have realized that it is not transient and it's not going down. And today, while they are doing a very, I will say, rapid interest rate hikes to control the inflation, it is still not to the level there where they wanted it to. So, थोड़ा बहुत correction हुआ है पिछले महीने में US में, but not something to take note of. So, if the interest rates are going to go up, you know, that is going to be a big, I will say, limiting factor for the economic growth globally. The other factor which is kind of there is the volatility in the commodity and the FX space which is there. So the energy prices, Europe is hit by energy prices. If you see the entire Europe, 90% was dependent on imported energy, be it from Russia or wherever. Today, that space is getting, as the energy prices are going up and as the winter is what they are staring towards, I think Europe is in deep problem, and that is why you are seeing a huge recessionary trend over there. US में अभी recession तो है नहीं, because if you look at their employment statistics, जहाँ के job vacancy 6% है और unemployment 3% है, which means the labor market is still very hot. And for recession to hit the labor market, unemployment will have to go up. So it is definitely not there as of now, but there is a strong headwind, and maybe by 2023 second half, one could see US growth slowing in a big way. So that's the, I will say, trend which the world is going towards, and which again slows down the growth for the world as a whole, is not very positive. But maybe there is a potential that it may not be too long term, and things could correct as soon as the central banks start reducing the rate, which may be more than 12 months hence.
Great, sir. You have very good knowledge about the stock market as well, because I just heard that you are just talking about the MSCI index and your kind of data you just presented with us. That was fantastic. Thank you very much, sir, for your precious time. It was nice to talk to you, sir, and all the best for the entire fiscal and rest of the fiscal.
Thank you, Vivek. As usual, pleasure being with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. तो बिग बॉस बिग आइडिया में आज हमारे साथ थे ब्लू स्टार के मैनेजमेंट, जिन्होंने की बताया कि इंडिया का आउटलुक के साथ साथ कंपनी का आउटलुक भी बहुत शानदार है। फिलहाल इस कार्यक्रम से इतना ही। नमस्कार।